With the Ahsoka Tano series set to begin filming in just 1 week's time, a lot of Star Wars fans are getting very much excited and anticipated for the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show as well. That's all set and ready to debut its first official full-length trailer by early May of this year. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, we have a lot of things coming our way. By the time Star Wars Celebration hits, we have a lot of announcements that will be made to the Star Wars fandom to give us a better idea of what's in store for the overall roadmap of the franchise. Now, they have a specific, plan for all of this. They have Celebration of this year. They have Celebration of next year that's going to further advance the roadmap of the franchise, and a lot more to come. So, it's not just about the TV shows and the movies, but we also have a lot of books, novels, and comics that's really going to fill in the gaps in between to really make fans more knowledgeable about the overall new universe that's being led by Jon and Dave Filoni. Now, with that being said, however, what's even all the more exciting has everything to do with the fact of Mark Hamill and recently what he was able to unveil about the Star Wars franchise and exactly what Filoni and FAVREAU are really up to when it comes to the Star Wars universe. Given that Mark Hamill is going to have some form of involvement in both Mando Season 3 and Mando Season 4, they're not just going to do what they did in the Book of Boba Fett, where it's just strictly deep-faking technology. They are going to have some scenes here and there that will require Mark Hamill coming back on board. Now, I think a lot of that may have a lot to do with the fact of providing new dialogue and kind of modulating his voice to make him sound younger. They could very well do something like that, but so far what they have done with the Book of Boba Fett was pretty spot on. Now, with that being said, however, what's really intriguing is exactly everything that's been happening. Now, with both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni beginning to work on new Star Wars TV shows and projects to fulfill the Star Wars universe, they are also set to use a good amount of Star Wars legends that will be used as a way to bring in original stories for live-action shows. Now, further, it's noted, however, that in a recent interview, Mark Hamill was able to talk more about his role in Jon and Dave's treatment of Luke Skywalker and exactly what they have planned for future Mandalorian episodes. Now, Mark Hamill went on to state, "I stay close to them. I talk to them all the time about how they are doing and exactly how they are going to be using my character with new Star Wars projects, what kind of force powers they want to use, and where does Luke go from here. Jon and Dave have all of these crazy ideas that they personally told me that they are so eager to use in future shows and Mandalorian episodes. My most recent discussion with that involved how far can we push Luke's limits compared to what he did in Legends. They told me they want to give Luke Skywalker a lot of these different powers that were used in Star Wars Legends, and of course exactly how they can push his limits overall. They told me that they want to give Luke extraordinary powers like lifting mountains and reshaping the terrain around his Jedi temple. Stuff like that, Jon and Dave said they are going to make happen with Luke to really make him one of the most powerful Jedi to have ever lived in the galaxy." Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second. Now, before we move on to the more advanced stuff, alright, everything related to what Mark Hamill is making clear here is that Jon and Dave are going to be giving Luke Skywalker the big-time powers that we saw in Star Wars Legends. And this connects to one of the leaks that we went over a couple of months ago of how Jon and Dave have a big plan for the mandoverse, where Luke Skywalker is going to reshape the terrain of the surrounding areas of his Jedi temple that we saw in the Book of Boba Fett, which could very well explain why it looks a little bit different in The Last Jedi in comparison to how it appears in the Book of Boba Fett. It could very well have a lot of explanation to do with that. Now, the other thing is this, is that they want to make it clear to the fans that Luke Skywalker is going to become more and more powerful with each and every installment. Whether it's The Mandalorian or the Ahsoka Tano show, it doesn't matter. Jon and Dave want to make it clear to the fans that Luke is going to keep on progressing at a very fast rate, and Mark Hamill kind of discusses this further in just a second. The thing about this also is that a lot of fans need to know is that they are treating this with very much, care. They want to make sure that they're going to do this right for the fans, and they want to make sure that they're not jumping into things too quickly. So moving on, he goes on to state that they really want to give Luke these godlike powers to show just how far Luke actually came through by using the ways of the Force during this new era, that they are just having a blast expanding every single day. Now, fans really are going to be in for the ride of their lives up with The Mandalorian Season 3 and everything that comes after that, I can assure you that. John and Dave made it clear to me that they want to use many of these substantial powers that Luke harnessed in Star Wars Legends and exactly how that is going to be used in the new treatment of Star Wars overall. I mean, it's not just going to be so unbelievable to everyone of just how far they plan to go with Luke, but we also have so much being done right now with extremely important cameos that are set to interact with Luke in future episodes, and how John and Dave are going to utilize that, I promise to everybody, is going to make you crave more from, of course, what John and Dave are developing and what they have for these characters. So that's another thing to keep in mind here of what Mark Hamill just said, is that John and Dave will be using very important cameos to communicate and interact with Luke Skywalker in all of these new projects. And that kind of gives you a bit more knowledge into exactly what's happening here, is that they really are trying to create an ensemble cast when it comes to The Mandalorian. They want to create this group, or a team if you will, that eventually splits apart into groups and goes on their own stories. That's what John and Dave are planning to do. They're kind of giving it the Avengers treatment, it seems like. It almost comes off like that. I don't want to say that too early on, but it comes off like that. And I think that by using Luke Skywalker in such a powerful way, in, you know, both Mando Season 3 and 4 and the Ahsoka Tano series, this really is a big deal, because a lot of fans loved that version of Luke in Legends where each and every chapter, each and every book or comic, whatever it was, Luke really got all of these new Force powers that we have never seen before, and that's exactly what they want to show fans in all of these new Star Wars material and the new Star Wars projects and such. So he goes on to say this, that one other thing that I needed to mention is that John and Dave really are going to go out of their way to create new revelations for Luke in future seasons and projects of what they are working on. They told me quite a bit of what they have planned, and Luke is going to be a larger figure than what fans currently believe for all of these new Star Wars shows. Fans really are going to not expect of what's coming by these two fascinating creators that I love so dearly. So Mark Hamill is making it clear that John and Dave are going to be not only making Luke more powerful than ever before, but he's going to have these godlike powers, such as moving mountains, changing the terrain of a planet for his Jedi temple, and stuff around those lines. Big things like that are going to happen in Mando Season 3, 4, the Ahsoka Tano series, the planned Luke Skywalker TV show dubbed simply as Jedi Knight. There's a lot of things happening, and a lot of things that will be announced, especially at next year's celebration, which, by the way, is labeled as going to be the biggest one in existence under Disney's wing. Now, this year's celebration is going to be big. It's going to have a lot of revelations and reveals. But next year is really the big deal, because that's when they're going to announce all of the new Star Wars TV shows that are really going to be attached to the next phase of the franchise more so. Whereas with this year's celebration, we'll get a little bit of that, but not too much. So overall, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.